Hello my friends, today I am going to discuss about the practice of mindfulness, awareness and heedfulness. A few days ago, a friend of mine came up with this idea. If I talk about the practice of mindfulness, awareness and heedfulness, and I felt that it could be a small contribution. It could be a it might be a benefit for a few other peoples. So in order to discuss about the practice of mindfulness, awareness and heedfulness, there is a very fascinated analogy shared by His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. His Holiness Dalai Lama has given an analogy of tea and water, and he has clearly mentioned that without tea we can survive, but without water we cannot survive. Similarly, he has also said that without religion we can live, but without love, compassion and care we cannot live. So right from the beginning, if we do not receive a love, compassion and care of our mother, then we would not survive a long time. Then there is a risk of our own life. So love, compassion and care, so these things are nothing to do with religion. These are our basic necessities. So similarly, like a practice of mindfulness, awareness and heedfulness, so these practices are nothing to do with religions. Whether you are a religious follower or non-believer, it doesn't matter. You need this practice in order to live our day-to-day life ethically. So when we talk about the practice of mindfulness, awareness and conscious, there is an example, a patient who was diagnosed the disease of diabetes. If he or she diagnosed the disease of diabetes, and doctor will definitely advise him or her that he or she has to be very careful with their diet. They cannot enjoy sugar, they cannot enjoy ice cream, they cannot enjoy chocolate in their life. So doctor will warn them, if they enjoy these diets, then there would be a serious consequences regarding their health. So they are going to risk their own life. So when they are when they tempted to eat these diets, immediately they would able to develop a sense of caution and sense of attentions that they can avoid all these diets. So similarly, the practice of mindfulness, awareness and heedfulness, they will allow us to develop the sense of caution, sense of attentions when we are about to harm other peoples. And there is a story actually this story is described by one of the Indian Nalanda masters. His name is Shantideva, and he has written a book which is called A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. In this book, chapter number 7, in the end of chapter number 7, the chapter number 7 is the chapter of enthusiasms. In the end of that chapter, he has written these stories. If I describe this story to you, there was a fellow who was convicted of crime, and king has punished him, and king has placed a full bowl of mustard seeds on his head, and king has ordered to the guard, if he spills a single seed of mustard on the floor, then you use your sword and cut off his head. Then this fellow was so scared, and he was paying his full attention towards the bowl. He was having his complete presence of consciousness towards his head. So similarly, in our day-to-day life, we have to cultivate the same amount of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness in our daily life. So I have noticed there are few people, they have committed terrible things in their life, and they feel that they would not able to fix their past, and they are repeating the same mistakes continuously in their life. If you have done something mistake in your life in the past time, doesn't mean that you have to do it again in the future. If we look back to the history, if we look at the Buddha's lifetime, there were many followers, Buddha's followers. They have committed so many horrible things in their life. If I take an example of a king called Ajatashatru. Ajatashatru, he has killed his own father, and his father was King Bimbisar. And Ajatashatru, he himself made an attempt of murdering Buddha. So he has committed horrible things in his life, but later he met Buddha himself, and he accepted Buddha as his own spiritual master. Since then, he started to do the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness. Then he was able to cultivate the sense of strong remorse, strong regret that whatever he has committed in his past life. Then he started to stop himself not to repeat that kind of mistakes in his life. And if we look to the another followers like Angulimala, he has killed 999 people in his life. But finally, he was able to meet the Buddha. Then he started to do the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness. Finally, he was able to cultivate a sense of regret, whatever the negative action that he has committed in his past life, not past life, in his life, in his life, and he was able to stop not to repeat these mistakes in his life. And eventually, in the end of his life, he was able to attain the state of liberation in his life. So, past is past. We cannot change the past. But what we can do, that we can change our future. So our future is, our future depends upon our own hand. We can shape our future. In order to shape a good futures, we need to, do the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness. So if you do the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness, then you would be able to manage not to harm other people. If you do not harm other people, then then people would not harm you. There is no harming from other people. There is no like a bad reaction from other people. So there is no more enemy in your life. So this is a source of joy and happiness in our life. And even you see somebody is going to mistake, and if you see somebody is going to make mistakes in his life, then you would be able to advise them, and also you can help other people, you can benefit other people, that you can lead them to be a better human being. You can encourage them, you can praise them, you can give or compliment them to be a better human being. So if you do the practice of mindfulness, awareness, and heedfulness, then there are so many benefits in your life. Thank you.